ni saa cia Vilingi wa Mauvoo.
Ni siongama saa monza kamondele musiaisia ti itukuye mwai ni wa Disemba mwaka ningili na miongwele na ile naende ni udhocha ndeni wa Vilingi wa Mauvoo ngaumanithia maundu ala metho wa maikitika muthenane wao mundhini ta Veronicah SYOMBUA na otuatianie kwisla Facebook ta Mutongoi TV, YouTube ni Mutongoi TV /FM official nina wikwatio eto kutambania mwe ngina muthia wa Mauvoo maito twi mwamba amemba mambunge ya Makweni kwa vamwe ni mavitukithia wendekithio wa kwenda manewe kinandu cha maendeleo mainene ya mbungeni ni maweta kinandu kiu kinandu kiu kikaendea na kuyanisia ndoto ya serikali cia mitiuko kwa kwete ilovia na uthukumi vakuvi na enenthi ndongo yala aingi mbungeni isu chalo mumo na ula waitie wendekithio usu ila matwete mbunge ya katene waisie ma MCA makwata uthasio wa kuthukuma MCA makwata kinandu kiu ni makaeliwa na uthasio wa kuthukuma enenthi nesa mate kuthaitha magavana Caleb Chalwa Mutunga no gutuvingu ya Mauvoo maitu.
Sikalone cia mbunge ya kaunti ya Makweni tongowe ni Speaker Douglas Mbilu amemba mambunge ino kwa vamwe mavitukithia muswada wa kutoa mutalatala kana petition kula kwe mbunge ilanene kutonethia mbunge cia kaunti kana wodi siithe na kinandu cho cha maendeleo otondu ilio mbunge siitha na kinandu cha CDF.
That the proposed constitutional amendment bill in amending Article 204 of the Constitution should provide for the following with respect to county wards equitable fund.
The principle of devolution was to get services closer to Mwananchi.
I'm saying this because I believe the only way in which we can be effective is when we are facilitated by the government we are serving.
Muswada uno la withakitwe mbungeni ndongo ya laingi na MCA wa Tolemane Honorable Chalo Mumo wendekethia wodi nengo ilovili vatisitwe ta Ward Equitable Development Fund kielelo na kuthengesia maendeleo vala ve mwenenthi.
Motion ya kwika petition katika National Assembly kana mbungeni la nene ni kana wise kwithia mbunge cia county ni ciethiwa na uungami wa kinandu kana kila gita wa CDF kwa National Assembly na kila gita wa ngaf kana kila kithia wana MP wa county wise kwithia yu kitwa Ward Equitable Development Fund.
Oingi Chalo Mumo na waweta kana kuthengesia kinandu ki kwinenga ma MCA mwana wa kuungamia kinandu cho cha maendeleo na kumanenge vuso ya kwika maendeleo vate kuthi kuthaitha governor nongia ndo mo matetheke
ni kana okesa kwithia yu mbunge kana MCS mati kusemba bala be mangavana mathaithe ni kana manewe mbesa nundu wa devolution county sio cia Kenya assemblies cia counties wise kwithia na monument wona kinandu ocho nundu niona yu devolution tamakweni in particular tana kwata ombesa milioni 33 na nitu ikona we light ethetie lakini yule si kwikiwa weze kwithia yu ni siekiwa sio the undu sibwanene ugeza kwithani kaunti ya Masaku Kitui ni siekiwa nadhani milioni 50 kana milioni 4 nitwethe watu ne usocio ya kusisia maendeleo.
Iyo mbunge ya kaunti ya Makueni yaungana na mbunge ile ingi cia kaunti va Kenya si miongwena na Monza kutoa mutatatalo mbungeni na ula muyumbe wa Matungulu Stephen Mule wa uthakitie mbungeni nini akienda wodi inengwe kinando cho cha maendeleo. Caleb Chalo, Mutongoi TV, Vilingi wa Mauvoo, kumavamia kone ya mbunge ya kaunti ya Makueni.
Amwe mbunge ni mavuthisia isia waya kinandu cha Hustler Fund na kila akiambiwe twi muthenani wayo ni Musumbi William Ruto, mbunge wa Embakasi East Babu Awino, Embakasi West Mark Mwenje na wa Mathare Anton Oluoch maiweta Musumbi tawendio te na mawatho make na valaila we kunea maleve wathi enenthi kukwatwa kwa kinandu kiuta kukethiwa kwa mana vate kutunga.
The Kenya Kwanza government campaigned against the backdrop of what appeared to be an impending social revolution, a revolution that they called the bottom-up approach, where the bottom of the pyramid was promised heaven, and they were told that when this government comes to place, the hustler, the mamamboga, the boda boda, and the wheelbarrow peddlers would be at the center of this government. You saw at the beginning of the formation of this government, the formation and the putting in place of the CSs, as well as now the PSs, and I am sure even when the selection of CASs comes in place, the hustler is nowhere to be seen. In short, the hustler has been left where they were found, at the stages of Githurai, Mathare, Embakasi West, and in Embakasi East. Wherever it is they were spoken to in their stages, the hustler has been left right where they were being promised that they will be the ones sitting on this table. One of those promises that this government made was that they would put in place a hustler fund. A clear look at the manifesto of the Kenya Kwanza is by far very different from what has mutated into a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme. This thing has gravitated or changed or mutated from what was a promise that we would empower the young people with access to finances that was free of any interest, free of any requirement for security, and there was no requirement for that money to be returned. There is no shortage of institutions in this country that loan money, the nature of which now the Hustler Fund wants to do. In fact, the Hustler Fund is an enhancement of Fuliza. They want to outmarket or to edge out Safaricom and the banks that underwrite Safaricom from the business of Fuliza.
We realized that the president was making mere statements of path, and there were misrepresentation of facts. Because as we speak, they are saying that Hustlers Fund is repaid back at an interest rate of 8%. And I want to tell you that this is taxpayers' money. The hustlers have paid taxes, and these taxes must come back to them. And they should not repay it back again. The maximum amount of money being given is 50,000 Kenya shillings at an interest rate of 8%, which means that the interest is 4,000 Kenya shillings. So a hustler who is taking 50,000 Kenya shillings will repay 54,000 Kenya shillings. So are we building a hustler, or are we defrauding an extra 4,000 shillings from a hustler?
Without a proper structure will mean that the Hustler Fund will benefit certain people. Now, in this country, before the elections, we had Jubilee, we had Azimio, and Kenya Kwanza. What we saw today is a rewarding of only Kenya Kwanza people who are able to access the funds and were even the first beneficiaries. So what criteria did they use? Will the people who did not vote for the government, even those over 1 million people from Central, will they benefit from this fund? Or is it going to be something that is purely for those who voted for this government? In fact, for us here in Nairobi, those people we've seen they are benefiting, those are not the real hustlers. We as members of parliament, and from the Azimio side, we have 14 members. Nobody involved us. We would have helped them select and get the right candidates to benefit from this Hustler Fund. So the way it is structured right now, I don't believe that the real hustler, the real Kenyan, will get these funds. And with that, we really need to look at the legislation around this fund. Thank you.
Muvia wa volisi kana askali maisalo musini wa Masako ni maumia ukanyo kuyenendi kuma musini wa Masako na muno atandithia manduka sia M-Pesa na nduka inge ile ithukuma na kimanza kinene sia cha mbesa mesuviane na nganganya la meuthiuka na kutumia nzia sia useleke na wanganganya kuvena enendi maikengane ta meodhosia ma mauta ma lato la mauma mutini wa mumai kana sandalwood mauta ala media wa mekitwe suvani ndasa ivwane na sia nzovi indi ni sia chati vala kukauvikia yuhandu dhandatu maminite kulika mute koni usu waingendile isu na kukengwa na kuvenwa mbesa iteithio wangilia na imwe na maana atano ni ngendile gili ya na imwe na miongo itano ni ngendile isu kila umwe na indi mwandikitwa Mauvoo Daniel Mwongelani watumba ni sema Mauvoo.
Ofisa munene muveni wa isalu ukamba wa Masako Frederick Ikal elesia ngudu ya ingendile ni yende na uvithukia musio wa Masako ndikenga enendi na kumawe na ilovia sio na muno ndukane cia M-Pesa kati wa nduka ingi ilaitwa yasya utandithia ukonia imanza nene cia mbesa vala ing'endile isi kwithiwa ikuite masoba manene ala meukengana kana mena mauta ma lato kuma motini wa mumai kana sandalwood ula ikali waelesya kana utandithia wawe ni mukune mungu vanthi ya Kenya.
Because of the conning that is ongoing in this town, Machakos, most citizens are defrauded or are being conned because of a few individuals who pretend to be selling sandalwood. First and foremost, I want to state here categorically that there is no hawking of sandalwood in the Republic of Kenya. It is illegal.
Ikal ingine ombola kana kuvikia vu anganganyane maminite kuvena ilovia ene nthi thanthatu na ala ni atandithia manduka cia M-Pesa vala kila umwe atandithia su waetie kimanza cha mbesa kitethio wa ngili yana ingi ndaumbola ne maende na kusiemana na mbule lisu nikenda masieke mbeni na kumokomania na matambio momo mami yao.
So many people have come here. We have cases like 6 cases who come here that have been conned certain amount of money. Investigations are ongoing that they should not fall to the traps of these few individuals who come to Machakos town, conning people left, right, center. So we have like 6 cases. One particular case, an M-Pesa agent was conned 181,000. Another instant, an M-Pesa agent was also conned 95,000 shillings. They give out this money in cash, but investigation is ongoing.
Nekumanwa na siko ithanthatu walayu munene wa muvea wa Isalu sub county ya Masaku wakulia ene nthi na muno atandithia na muno ene nthi mamusieni wa Masaku na masoko alangi ukambo wa mwala mavoko na mawithiluko maguo wikithikana methi wa memetho na muno atandithia suma M-Pesa na menda makuna elivoti kwa mituki makomana na atandithia tasu.
We shall bring all these culprits to book. We shall arrest them and take them to the court of law. That's why I've called you here, so that you can enlighten the people of Kenya that anybody who comes purporting to be selling sandalwood, he should report him to the nearest police station. He should just call police and inform that so and so is here, he's selling this. We shall arrest him.
Niwo kana atemwa lui nikokoi
M-Pesa attendants. So people of Machakos, whenever you see these kinds of bottles written old tree, essential oil, sandalwood, run for your dear life.
Daniel Mwankela, Mutungwi TV, kumava maofisini manene ma polisi alameva musieni wa Masako.
Mwene kivila wa kithinzio cha indo musini wa Kitui vamwena ulauna wa ikanzala watene wa musi wa Kitui Bakari Bakara ni maale na vanene na kuthamiwa kwa kithinzio kiukuma musini wa Kitui na kutoa wakisioni cha Kanyonyo kilaki Kitui Rural Countini ya Kitui kumanwa na kilaki wetwa tachana ngite mawithi luluko haeli meweta kana kuthamiswa kwa kithinzio kiu ni kulikililetwe muno ni andu mena wendi wo ene wa kosa kiwanza kiu vala meenda serikali ya kaunti ya Kitui kwamba kukunikila vanene itumi mbianu cia kuthamua kwa kithinzio kiu mbe wa kosa itambia.
Zina miaki 1988 negebela neta councilor wa town na nanengetwe mbesa ni shirika ya usage na nanengetwe 3.8 million kwa ka slote na nengosenga muno kwiwa kana slote ne kwenda thabu ba batemu bango mwani yinye ta former councillor bana ndo kulya nyumba hizo za ngoloba na zilodela ambie kwa tena neba nondo ndensenye ninachua ndinye nongameba ekakwa 1988 na nyumba imwe ndunanenge tax force nina record ya tax force twatumane luki tukosisha plot ingedwe ba toka twazija twetha plot imwe mbinge banzi ya makansala na plot imwe ikithe etho esyo andumeanata
silote no yakiwe baba te numba na andu azuma kwazi una andu anini ala nimo ene ibuloti ala mozi ibuloti kwanzia yokengani na nimo makwazi kana silote no ndalete kwithia yivano kwa uni tukulia serikali nene na serikali ya county na nitu izineza kana ngavana sindu ilo twaiwe ni sio bungu na wenda sisi na nundu we ene kibilani na nitu izikana ena maundu maingi nitu thitwe nitu manza mwana twikale na kenzi nikana tumutabyo ugo nikana tu wize kwithia ni wamana sindu ila withite aitabwa ni sio bungu
Musaisa ekatambo kwata utandithia ni ngwithi wandiciokeria o mituki
Mukamba aisye ngundi yambe niyo kau indi ni sia wetina ne kabila niambia wengi mukamba ni wisi sia kusangongoi inyusa muluo
yu vai kunyo muluo nondo Vilingi ni wabugwa
ukamba witu ni museo na wilato ndi ito Mutongo TV kwatanyo ya mukamba ni twafika
Mauvoo makele mavuti no konya uteti utandithia nanima no manithwa bandi ni wa Vilingi wa Mauvoo
metha maitu mengunu kilandwani ukamba witu
kuma ketwinzene mweka make ono mama sako mamoka nenyo mama sako mweka nyamae ono mama kuene matinda
Anaitu maisio siya kisuwani ginya musini munene wa Kenya ilovi kitambasie kwata iki lalawa nundu woni wenyu wa Mauvoo ni wa thela itisina wa Vilingi kuvuvwa yu mwe makwata mema vyo maumete iko
cha kimwe kiruanda na ngwatanio Devina yu Mutongo TV nikoka memekoka kama visa alake ukwatanya mukamba
Mutongo TV
ngwatanio ya mukamba
nitwavika
Musese witu mwendwa Mutongo TV ni avwila ukambani na yakwata nzeve ya luma na otumevusa ye kuvikia mamilioni ma andu alama tosia isi ya kila muthenya kwa kutangasa vya viasala waku kana kumanethia alama evasa ila mwendo waku watutia kwisila imanethia sia iku kwa Mauvoo mbeange tuvikie kwisila nambani ya simu noti imwe ina kenda ile imwe na itatu mwonza kana ututumie email kwisila sales@mutongotv.co.ke Mutongo TV ni yongwatanio ya mukamba tukwatane twaile viasala situ.
Dial *811*466# to get Psalms 119 verse 105 as your skiza tune.
Psalms chapter 119 verse 105. Your word is a light for my feet, ever shining on my way. I have made an oath and kept it to be guided by your upright decisions. I am greatly troubled. O Lord, give me life in keeping your word. Amen.
Dial *811*466# to get Psalms 119 verse 105 as your skiza.
Ni na udhocha ingi musiaisia tutambani imwe musili munene wa makwani vandi ya Kenya Mwandu Martha Koome no wawetakana muvia wako tini weyo vete kavyo ukule kwikidia kanani mokitana na siku siaka wake mivae Koome ni wawetakana ene yanda na ala makosana siya na indi ya katu sikita vikie kusiokea Mauvoo asu musili munene wa makwani vanthi ya Kenya Mwandu Martha Koome niwe wetakana muvea wa koti niwe yovete kavyu ukuli kwikiria kana nimeokitana na siko sia kau wa kimivae. Koome niwe wetakana ene ianda na ala me makosana siana kukitana na siko sia muthemba usu nimekuvikia kukwata mauvundi sio makuyana zikayoni sia kumiana na siko sia muthemba ta usu vanthi ya Kenya.
We started here in Chanzu. We are ready to start Nairobi. When you tell me so, I'm ready to launch Nairobi, because sometimes it is good to move on, then these other things will follow us. Before the Judicial Service Commission, we have a huge task of ensuring that we have enough human resource capacity to render justice to our people. But had we said, let us wait for the JSC to recruit magistrates so that we start here, we would never have started. So sometimes we will move ahead of them, then they will follow us. We will not allow you to burn out. With FAISA here, I know we will get a counseling psychologist seconded to us here to give us that psychosocial support. And the work is cut out for that social science, psychosocial support. Because we have those who work with the victims. We have police officers who receive this report. There is so much, and there is need for this office to be situated here in Chanzu.
Because most victims are under the age of 17, they don't even recognize when something happens to them. You know, I myself am the first to admit that I am a victim of violence. But when I was 10 years old and living in a situation of domestic violence, I didn't know what that was. When the church elder gave me a lift in his car and wanted to look under my dress, I did not know what that was. When my father's friend, and this is what I tell a lot of girls I talk to, the most dangerous people are the friends of your father. When they come and say, oh, you're now growing up, you're a big girl, and start touching your body. Many, many victims don't even know that they are victims. And I think that we need to do a little bit more in terms of prevention, even before they have to come to the courts.